Batman and Robin, issue 30, legacy number 96, Philip Kennedy Johnson writing with FICO OSSIO on the art, and this is the final issue of the arc, also the final issue of the book, which is not actually that surprising, because Johnson did sign like a big Marvel deal not too long ago, so obviously he's still got his Book of L issues to come out that he's probably already done, but it's the sort of thing where they don't make like a proper announcement of books ending anymore. They just kind of like, if you don't notice they're not in the solicits, you kind of get caught off by surprise when the final issue hits, and you're like, oh shit, this is over. But hey.
And that's a bummer because I really enjoyed his run on this book. So it really showed his, the whole father-son dynamic that he dialed into through Memento, and then here with Ventriloquist and The Quiet Man. I really enjoyed that. And now it's going away because I felt like finally a take on Batman and Robin that's not just them fighting crime, right? It's them trying to, figure out what their father-son relationship is. So, and I think that he succeeded at that. And because when did he take over? Was it like 18? Was it 12 issues?
12 or 13, it's about there, yeah. Because it was two arcs worth, so year. So about, if it wasn't 12, it may have been one or two more than that, depending on how long that first arc was. But yeah, so it's, I've really enjoyed these two arcs. It'll make a nice deluxe book at some point someday, I assume, where they'll just put them all in one big book, and that's cool. But this wraps up the whole Scarface story, the Quiet Man stuff, and it's all about the Quiet Man and Scarface are both on their way to this big gala at the new hospital, or the refurbed hospital, and Penguin's taking all the credit, and Robin's like, he's taking credit for our hospital. He's like, focus, Robin. So that's fun stuff. Scarface just stabs one of his henchmen who dares question something ever so briefly.
I want to think about this, Pete. Scarface can't move independently. So Wesker is taking his hand over the hand with the knife in it and stabbing him. Imagine this guy last thing is seeing this old man use this dummy to stab you to death. Right? Like, particularly unhinged. I thought that was hilarious. I
mean, you can see it on that panel at the bottom of that page after he stabbed the guy. You can see Wesker's hand around the arm of Scarface's arm. So you can, it's not hiding it. You can see that he's been doing it.
No. Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking like being that guy and seeing this old man with a ventriloquist dummy stab you to death with the hand of the dummy. Like it's, again, it is beautifully unhinged.
Oh, yes. The big thing here is that Batman's like, hey, if because of panic, Scarface will just fire into the crowd, people will run, they'll get trampled because there'll be a panic. We have to try and take down the threats without scaring the crowd. We have to try and turn off the lights, but give them a distraction so that we can take out the gunman without causing commotion. So they basically set off the firework display and kill all the power to all the lights so they can so if the bad guys do fire off a shot in defense during the attack, it'll just get covered by the fireworks, in theory. So yeah, that's kind of how it plays out. So there's some fun action sequences here, and obviously it all builds up to the Quiet Man coming in and going after Scarface. And the ending here to this main conflict I really like, which is basically Damian talks down Quiet Man and says, hey, what happened to you is not that dissimilar to how Batman started. And Batman is going to have that, and he's going to fight that fight for the rest of his life until it kills him, and everyone who knows him knows that's going to happen. Eventually he will die doing this. I really liked him being this voice of reason and appealing to the Quiet Man, and then the Quiet Man being like, you should be the one in charge, which I'm sure Damian's ego is going to love hearing that. But I thought that was really nice, given especially the arc of Damian in this book has all been about him trying to tap into his Wayne side and figure out who he is beyond just being the grandchild of the demon and all that.
Yeah, I love that he points out to about Batman. It's almost derogatory is too strong of a word, but he almost looks down like what Batman does, and that's all he is. There's nothing else to him, right? And so don't be like that. Be multifaceted.
Yeah, I think looking down is maybe not even the right term either. I think basically what he's saying something that I think a lot of other side characters have said in the past to some extent. I think Dick and Babs have commented on this. And Batman himself knows this, that he's so devout. And hell, it's why the wedding never happened with Catwoman. Is that she's He's never going to not be married to his war on crime. That is who he is at his core, and it's unhealthy. Now, he does a lot of good things with it. He's saving a lot of people doing it, and he's achieving a lot, but he's never going to be more than that because that's who he is. And it's this idea that Batman's aware of that and wants his sons, Dick, to be healthier than him. For it failed a bit with Jason perhaps, but with the others, he's doing an all right job.
Right? I mean, look what Tim just decided to do by stepping away. Right, to have an actual real life. So the fact that Damian puts this together and it's the way that he's talking to Quiet Man about it, and and it ends with that. Well, maybe you ought to be the one in charge. Wisdom beyond his years, type of stuff.
Yeah, and even though he gets badly wounded, he gets shot before the end of this. He gets Damian helps keep him alive, and then apparently he breaks away from custody, even in his condition. And Batman's like, well, you know what? He saved your life tonight taking those bullets from Scarface, so he's earned his head start. And but basically Damian gets the idea when Batman says if he makes it across the bridge, we'll probably never see him again. And Damian puts two and two together that the truck that had all the silver in it from the backstory that his son was driving because they never found his body, there's a good chance it might have went off the bridge. And people assumed that the driver got away, but maybe he went off the bridge. And sure enough, they find the van with the two bodies in it. So they're able to give Quiet Man's son a burial. So we get like a sequence of Quiet Man watching from a distance as his son finally gets buried and put to rest at that same church that he went to back at the start of the arc. So that's a nice little moment. And then they use all the silver. Not that Bruce needed the money, but they use all that silver to build a new kids wing at the hospital. So it's like, hey, it's going to a good use.
And they got it out of the black market, right? Which is good. So I do like that Damian puts it together that the guy that was the Falcone soldier was like, no, he was good. He would never have turned on his boss. That's not who that guy was. So again, it shows Damian's detective skills as well, putting that, and that's what also gives him to look down into the river to see if it's still there, But yeah, and then that last sequence at the church too, I thought that was really, it's weird to say heartwarming, but he gets to see his son laid to rest, and it's like he doesn't need to be the quiet man anymore.
It gives him some closure that he was very much lacking beforehand. As much as this doesn't bring him back or anything, it's like he never got to do this before. So it's a nice sequence, and then the book just kind of ends with Damian's journal talking about that he's Bruce is helping him do stuff at the hospital. He's still on this journey to figure out who Damian Wayne is. And just ends with it. It's a very typical thing you get at the end of a lot of Batman arcs, which is like, Gotham will always need Batman, and Batman will always need Robin. Here's a splash page, and which I'm not complaining. It's a nice page. It's a what else you're going to end it on? Really, it works. Yeah. So,
no, I like it.
Very pleasant. Art was good. FICO OSSIO has been very good throughout this this arc with the Quiet Man. So I have no complaints there. I think the emotional crux of this one was Damian talking him down, and that felt like a nice payoff to everything. The highlight of the arc might have been the reveal with Scarface, though, or with Wesker, that he'd already killed the lady that was supposed to be looking after him. That might be the standout moment that I always remember about this arc, but this ending was pretty good. For sure. It was a lot more concise than the last arc with Memento. They kind of jumped around, time stuff. So this just being a straight action kind of deal with the Quiet Man and then the Scarface reveal, as well as a nice change of pace. So, but yeah, FICO OSSIO's art, I'm a big fan of, because for all the shadows that we get throughout, when we get to that page with the church, the way that the light's coming down and, hits the funeral when they're laying the son to rest. Oh, straight up God rays. Yeah. Yeah. And just the way that, because we're so used to Ossio having such the heavy inks, it makes that pop even more. So, really taking advantage of that art style. Yeah. Some nice stuff. There's also a really nice panel when Damian gets the idea to go check the bridge. There's a panel of him driving on his bike through the city, and it's all gold because of all the street lights. They really amp it up to all the lighting flares and sort of stuff like that, and it just looks really almost godlike the way he's driving down that street. Well, there's that, and it gives it a sense of motion too, because of kind of the hot white at the middle, and then it tips out to the orange in the direction that he's heading. It almost tricks your eyes into thinking that he's heading down the road, which is cool. Yeah, that's very good. It's interesting that, you know, Dark Patterns ended and now Batman and Robin's ended, so we're kind of just down to Batman and Detective for the Batman books for the minute. I'm sure it won't last long.
Yeah.
There's always more Batman books that will be greenlit, but it's just wild that both of them, you know, 2 of the 4 have ended so close together.
The 2 that I was most enjoying, too. I feel like this is my penance.
I mean, I guess that's true, but I think I'm really liking Taylor's Detective, and I think Fraction's Batman's very good. It was like see like 5 months ago when it was Hattush, that was a very different story. Now I'm actually quite happy with Fraction holding up the Batman mantle for a bit.
Yeah.
So it's not all bad by any stretch. But curious to see if they announce any other Batman books in the near future. Well, we got Shadow of the Bat coming, I suppose, so we know that's on its way at some point. There's not been solicited yet, so it's at least 3 or 4 months away. So we'll see when that arrives, but cool. All right, what are you giving Batman and Robin?
I'm going to give this a straight 8.
I'm going to inch up to the 8.5. I think the emotional resolution to him talking down Quiet Man gets it over that line. Plus the art's good and everything else.